Hi, class. We lost one article, which was, well, kind of an evil fun of mine in the past. There is this person that put an article out there that didn't have head nor feet in terms of what ethnomusicology is, and poorly define musicology in a sense that was quite negative, and I just kind of was using it as an example of what not to do. And I usually directed students at finding holes in it and finding comments. So apparently I'm not the only instructor that did this, and this person eventually took the article down. So we unfortunately that coincided with the beginning of our semester, so now we're having to think quick on our feet as to what to do instead. And I ask that you look at your last assignment, the reading reaction discussion on the definition of ethnomusicology. And I'm thinking of something that is fair, that gives you the same level of work that you would have had. So I'm kind of lightening up the load of this last assignment for this week. But as you read it, you might feel, oh goodness, this is a lot of work, but it is not. Okay. So as you read this, notice that I am listing what you did in your first assignment, looking at music through the perspective of music and folklore, music and religion, music and politics, music and dance. Most of you have done beautiful work. And kind of like a side note, when you do your video summary, you don't have to read your entire paper, right? So think of your video summary as a very casual way of you for you to address your group, your country, right? We have Paraguay, we have Bolivia, and we have Tanzania. And it's just a lack of the draw that we got two countries in South America this semester. This is really interesting. I kind of spin the wheel on which countries we're going to do each semester, and I change it every time around. This was very unusual. But anyway, skipping that process, you did beautiful work in those four precepts that we are going to use through the semester in each one of the country concepts that we're going to be looking at. And you're going to always be referencing your own country. So you'll stay in your country for the semester. At the end of the semester, you'll give kind of like a country report to the rest of the class, right? So right now you're working with your peers in your country, your co-citizens, so to speak. Now, you did beautiful work in the first part. The only reason why I'm listing these four precepts here is to remind you of what you did, right? So here we have this wider definition of ethnomusicology in the article that you have read or that you are reading as I'm recording this, hopefully. And I'm kind of listing the precepts of that article, right? A larger demographic perspective. In the article, they talk about a global one, but you're dealing with only one country, right? So we are looking at your country in the perspective of the larger demographics. So, for example, in Paraguay, it was brought to bear that there are many indigenous cultures. It's not just the Guarani, but there are others. And that's fine, right? So you can mention them. So where you can get lost, you can say, okay, Dr. Chapman is asking me to look at that larger demographic. I have to do all of this and I have only one weekend. My goodness, what am I going to do with my time? No, I just want you to skim the surface, right? We have the entire semester to really dig in deeper, right? So right now we're kind of doing preemptive field work, so to speak, right? Then you're looking at understanding music as social practices, which kind of relates to what you already did in music and folklore. And that's why I'm saying you're kind of redoing your work, but you are applying it to this different focus that we have, right? And ethnographic field work. And some of you have already looked into the research. It was, again, looking at Paraguay and that bottle dance that was kind of interesting to look at, and we have also this very interesting jazz festival that something I cannot remember the pronunciation of it, but it looks like so much fun. I am really enjoying reading your papers and watching your video summaries. So far you're doing great, class. I'm very proud of you. And again, don't think of this assignment as this just very large thing. It should be a lighter one, right? So you have 3 topics to focus on. Don't reinvent the wheel. I'm only listing those 4 precepts just to remind you of what you did and how you should perhaps look at the work that you already did on those and just translate it to what you have here, basing it on the focus that we have from the article that you read on ethnomusicology. That's all, and it should not be a very long assignment. Again, my apologies. I should have checked that article, but Rakonen was still online before releasing the work in the class. If it gave you any heartache, I'm sure it did. My deepest apologies. Let's have a great semester. Cheers.